Hey everybody, Corey here, coming at you with another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes videos, and today I wanted to give you all a look at the PC client. I finally got accepted into the beta, and I wanted to just quickly talk about some pros and some cons, if you can believe it. There aren't a lot of cons. There are not a lot of cons, especially if we're talking about instead of the PC client in a vacuum. I'll just get it out of the way right now. If you compare the PC client to the phone, the mobile version of the game, of course it's better. It's just better. You see more things on the screen. You've got hotkeys for everything. Like if I want to go to the arena table, yes, I can click it, but you can see there's an H next to it. And so I can also put my mouse over here and just hit H, and boom, now I'm in. You can do it for anything. If there's a hotkey, you can do it. It's nice. You got numbers. If I want to go to my mailbox, I can look up here. Hey, that's great. I guess in terms of hotkeys, I would say sometimes it's intuitive, sometimes it's not. So if I want to get out of this screen, I can click the button. Or I can hit escape, which is great. However, let's see. Oh, it's past 3. My reset hit. Itty bitty peeve. I wish there was a quicker way to confirm. Like when there's one button on the screen, it would be nice. Like if I want to buy this, space doesn't do it, enter doesn't do it. There's no hotkey next to it. And so to my knowledge, the only way to buy this thing, here, let's QWERTY. Yeah. The only way to buy it is to click it, right? And so it's just a little weird. It's a nitpick, really, in the grand scheme of things. It's a nitpick. This is the only thing that I would change. Give the buy button a hotkey. Probably make it spacebar, maybe even enter. But that way, it could just be click space, click space, click space. Okay, we move on. Instead, it's click, 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 click. And it's just a little bit more jarring than it would normally be because, like, literally everything else has a hotkey except for affirming an action. So I'm not going to make you watch me go through my shop process. But other than that, everything is better, right? You're getting the performance of a PC. Look at how smooth this is. How ridiculous. One of my biggest peeves on the phone is when it lags for like no reason. Look at how many ships you can see on a single screen. Look at how many characters you can see on a single screen. While I'm doing this, I will say the scroll functionality is a little bizarre. Like I'm using my mouse scroll wheel here, and it's very, very slow. And that's okay, but I can't seem to adjust it. However, it's also a little inconsistent. So if I want to create a new squad, just by barely moving my mouse, my scroll wheel, it like skyrockets through my roster. Like you have to be very deliberate, little itty bitty scrolls to just kind of slowly go through. And obviously one of the solutions is you can click and drag, but that feels kind of cumbersome, the clicking and dragging. So I would like to see them kind of get the scroll wheel down. You can't see what's going on right now. Like if I'm looking for someone in my roster, it's very, I don't know, it could be a little bit better. So I would like to see some adjustability with the scroll wheel. But remember, when I'm saying all these things, these are little nitpicks. This is in consideration of the fact that everything else is basically better. Load times are better, navigation is better, the amount of things you can see on screen is better, moving through the game is better. Let's go to an event and I'll show you one of my favorite things. This is something I was a little concerned about when I started watching other YouTubers, and I think it's mostly a BlueStacks issue. What are you guys doing here? I think it's mostly a BlueStacks issue. You. Using abilities in battle looked annoying. It looked like the hotkeys were not a thing. And I know that was an issue with BlueStacks, and I knew there was kind of a way around it, but I would see, let's just get into the battle, you'll see what I'm talking about. Every time I watched like my favorite YouTubers do their thing, it was like, I have to click you. I have to click the ability. Okay, now next I have to click this other ability. Oh, if I want to target someone else, I need to click them, and then I need to click the ability. And there was just something about like, click, 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 click. It was like, it actually looked annoying to me. Before I realized, or found out rather, that there were going to be hotkeys available in combat, I was not interested in the PC version of this at all, because when you have your hands on your phone, you can just touch everywhere on the phone with 2 fingers almost immediately. And so one of my concerns with the client was my battles are going to take longer because I have to click here, I have to go down here and click here and go down here and then target you. And it's actually a lot faster, and I absolutely love it. You can see next to everyone's name, they have their respective hotkeys. So like if I want Hux to use his third ability and give it to SLKR, I can just do EA. Now for me personally, I just like to use QWERTY for the abilities, and I still like clicking around. So I'm okay with doing one of those things if I have to click the characters or if I have to click the abilities, but I don't want to do both. I actually find, interestingly enough, battles are even faster. Battles are even nicer to navigate through, even when I'm clicking my targets, just because you've got your 3 fingers sitting on QWERTY, right? So I'll click her and I'll show you how fast it can go, right? You're next. Okay. I'll AoE. Okay. Stun. Okay. AoE. Great. Obviously they were gear 12. I was just demonstrating, what was going on here, but I was afraid I was going to lose time in battles, and I'm actually gaining time in battles. It feels very satisfying to use your fingers on the keyboard and click around. It's just better than I was expecting. Everything else, like I said, it's what you would expect. The performance is there. It doesn't take a lot of memory processing power. Anything that would be taxing on a computer, if you've gotten a computer within the past decade, you're going to be okay. And I'm pretty sure that's just most people at this point. So let's talk about the one thing that I'm very concerned about. I don't want that to sound too dramatic, but quite honestly, I kind of am very concerned about it. So first and foremost, this is a mobile game. It's been a mobile game for like 7, 8 years. It should continue to be designed and built as if it was a mobile game first and foremost. I'm a little concerned with how much better it performs on PC. And I'm a little concerned with CG's track record, Capital Games. They just don't make amazing decisions all the time. And I could see them trying to basically push everyone to the PC version of the game and not caring as much about the performance of the mobile app. And I kind of think that's already evidenced in Gungans. I don't have any, unfortunately, there's no event up right now where I could go battle some Gungans, but if you're familiar with it, Gungans, it's the newest full team that they came out with. They have so many debuffs, and their kits are so bloated, and there's so many calculations that the game has to do when you're fighting Gungans, that one of the biggest complaints about them is that it lags. Like, people are timing out against Gungans because their client will freeze for 2 seconds every single time a Gungan does something. That doesn't really happen on PC. And so I'm afraid that CG is going to continue to make these wild kits with a bunch of crap and bloat in them that run like garbage on the phone, and then they say, well, just go use the PC client. And, they're never going to outright say that, but like it or not, CG's kind of scummy, and they kind of make decisions that are kind of a big middle finger to the player base. I don't know, 50% of the time. It's been kind of rough lately. And so I'm actually concerned that players who continue to play on mobile will get the shaft, and we're all going to have to just switch over to PC whether we like it or not. And sometimes the allure of this game is being able to play it on your phone, right? I can play this on the toilet in a public restroom when I'm at a restaurant, right? Like, not everybody has the time or cares enough even to sit down at their computer somewhere, probably in their home, unless you're carrying around your laptop to play Star Wars. Just not everybody cares enough, right? And so if they build the game around a PC client, it's like you're kind of forcing everybody to have to sit down and be on a laptop or a computer somewhere. It's not great, right? So that's my biggest concern. Can I see them going that way? Truly, yes. And there's one other reason that I think that's very a very real possibility. For those of you who don't know, you might not have noticed, take a look at the store on the PC client. Do you see anything strange here? You see anything that you might not be used to seeing? You see how this bundle that's normally $100 is 5% off and now it's $95? That's what they do in the web store when you buy things on your phone, whether it's, crystals or whatever. And I'm sure, yeah, now suddenly crystals, you get 5% more. You used to only get 5% more in the web store. Why am I talking about this? The reason that they're willing to give you more crystals per dollar on the PC client and in the web store, and the reason they're able to give you a 5% discount in the PC client and in the web store is because when you purchase something through the web store or the PC client now, Apple and Google Play do not take their percentage cut. So Capital Games can give you this discount and they actually still end up walking away with more money, more profit, because Apple and Google are not taking a cut. The reason I'm talking about that is, I wonder if you can hear the rain right now. It just started like slamming rain. Anyhow, the reason that's relevant here is because not everybody knows that. Not everybody uses the web store. Not everybody knows there's a 5% discount. Not everybody knows you get 5% more crystals. And they want to maximize their profits. They want to force you to the web store somehow, which they can't do, right? They can't force you into the web store. They can force you into the game, into the app, because that's the only way you can play the game. But they can't put a gun to your head and force you to go into the web store. However, if you're playing on the PC client, you have a direct link to them, and they can give you the discount, and then Apple and Google miss out. And so basically what I'm getting at here is if they want to maximize their profit, they're going to want to force as many people as possible onto the PC client so that when and if people are buying things in the store, they're making more money. And so we all know CG. I mean, everything is profit driven in this world, but CG, they're pretty up there when it comes to being completely driven by the dollar. And so I can see that alone being a reason that they might even go so far as to specifically neglect the mobile experience in favor of the PC experience, because they need you. If you're gonna buy something, they need you to buy it from this store so that Apple and Google stop taking their cut. Anyhow, all in all, selfishly, I like it on PC. I think it's more enjoyable than it is when it's on the phone. I get a kick out of it. I can do my recording here. That's great. But it's to be determined whether or not it's going to be good for the long-term health of the game. I hope they continue to develop the game in a way that supports phones first and foremost. Even though that's not typically where I play any of my games, it's where I play this game because it's where this game was built. And so I want to see that going forward. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Give it a try. Go sign up for the PC beta. See if you get let in. I would say it probably took 2 or 3 weeks for them to let me in. I'm also kind of a whale. And so I have a feeling that could play into who they let have access to the PC client. I'm sure they look at your spending and they go, oh yeah, we need to get this guy in the game in the PC client ASAP. Who knows? That's probably a conspiracy theory. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this. And I will see you all next time.